I came here in 1999 from South Sudan, the newborn country. As you can see my kid playing outside the backyard there. When I was a child, there was no any backyard where I can play like my kid do now outside. And I think also this reversed to the rest of the South Sudanese. Second to that, life changed. Our struggle was not on one channel. We struggled through the life. We struggled also for the education. We struggled also for peace. So I got where the peace is. Come to Australia is not an easy one. But when you qualified on based on your situation is where you can also manage to come across the world. What qualified me to come here is due to the war in South Sudan, war in Sudan in general. Because there's no peace in the country for a long period of time. And for that reason, the Australian government and the world at large see that we are eligible people to be settled in the world. Not only Australia. But then that is the only thing also qualified me to come to Australia. I work as a political activist in our community. It does not mean that accusing one another, but if we see something which is not relevant for us, then I go and knock the door of politicians, telling them that this is not the right thing. We need this. Within the community, there are a lot of important things that need to be done. But it seems like us, we ignore most of them. But once it comes into the big picture, is where people see it that is important. But while it is still very small, people don't see at it as something important that they can look at it. And so we, the members of the South Sudanese community here, there are a number of active members which are also see how they can do the situation together and also following it until they get the right thing of it. Life is actually different in Sudan because we used to call it Sudan before South Sudan got independent. Life there it was not actually good, as everyone knows from South Sudan and also the rest of the world, comparing to this life, because life is all the generation is grown in the war. There's no peace at all within the country. It's look very horrible, disturbing, uncomfortable. And it looked like us, we were not a human. There are two ways on the fight. There's a disadvantage. The disadvantage for the war is because a number of deaths could occur, and the destruction for the environment also will be there. This is the disadvantage of war. And third of that is because fighting all the time, there's no peace among the nation. When the war occurred, especially let me say during the SPLA, nobody knows that he will survive. So you be there like waiting to die, because you see your colleagues gone, and then you may think that you feel also that tomorrow maybe I will go. But we cannot regret on that because if we regret, then the enemy can get chance to defeat us. But the only problem that I faced during that is No one is the relative around there, and by that time we are still very young. So we just fight like when you run to the stadium, or you don't know even that you are going to die or whatever. So you realize later when one of your colleagues who got killed will never come back. During my lifetime, I found that God has forgotten me. I found that God, likewise, the rest of the South Sudanese. Raising a child is one of the important things, because you need a child to see the future. You raise a child for the bright future, and to see all the parent to be very proud of the child. And that's why we, the South Sudanese in diaspora, want our children to focus mainly on the education and well behaving, so that they can be a bright future for our nation. The process that I went through, I was interviewed by the United Nations, the representative from Kenya, and I went through many tunnels that would not even allow me to come to Australia if I fail anything among them. To me, I can say that I'm not a refugee anymore, because I'm an Australian citizen. I'm an Australian citizen. And comparing to the Aussies, so though I'm born from another country, I should be called an Aussie also.